Well, there we go. Thank you very much to our sponsors and partners who have shown us quite a bit there, and certainly a lot of food for thought. Especially, I need some training from some of the people there.
Thank you.
Okay, next session we now move on to is diversity and equality in motorsport. Has everyone got their camp there, listening to it live as well? Interference going on in the background.
Thank you. Okay, next session we now move on to is diversity.
Otherwise, everyone gets to hear me in double time. Okay, well, let's welcome our guests, Carol Glenn from Next Racing Generation Academy, and Tara Strong from Motorsport. Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Hi, hello. I'm good.
Good stuff. Well, Carol, let's begin with you. You've been racing now for over 30 years, but more recently with the events surrounding the, George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, this has obviously given much needed.
I've got a bit of a delay. I can't hear you.
It was probably Tara. So we've muted her for now, so we'll bring her back in a second. So, Carol, did you hear any of that, or shall I start again?
No, you can start again. Sorry, it was a bit.
That's all right, no problem at all. Well, as I say, you've been now 30 years. You've been within motorsport, and from the conversations we've had before, obviously the events surrounding George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, this has obviously given the much needed energy into diversity. So talk us through your experience within the sport over those 30 years.
Well, I started off as a marshal back in 1988, and then I worked my way up through the ranks and then became secretary of the read team for many years. And then more recently, I've got my clerk of the course license. I've been a clerk for 5 years now. And then with what's happened recently, I've decided to, sort of speak out along with Lewis, and I'm looking more for solutions. So I'm now forming an academy race team called Next Racing Generation Academy to help bring on more diverse drivers in sport.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's something I really wanted to hit on. Really, tell us more about it and how that academy works.
Well, it'll be. I've already got a small cohort of young drivers already who are about to sign up, and I'm obviously looking for more, both girls and boys. And basically, what's happened is that there's lots of parents out there working in silo, and they've been trying to get their children into motorsport, mainly in karting, but they come up to lots of brick walls all the time, or can't get progressed on through the system. So I've got together with them, and they're all quite happy now to form this umbrella where I will now help them progress them on. Because I obviously understand the system and the pathways to get into different categories. And we'll look at their training. We'll look at all the things that are needed, driver tuition, etc. And then we'll also do some online training with them, with mentoring, and giving them some training on how to deal with situations when they come up against racism, with either at work or in college or at school.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, Lewis Hamilton's obviously raised the profile of motorsport globally, and of course diversity and equality. But what do you think are his next steps in order how he can help people?
Well, he started those next steps because he has now, formed his Lewis Hamilton, or the Hamilton Commission, which is working with the Royal Academy of Engineering. So one of the places they're looking at is to increase, to try and improve people coming up through the STEM cell within universities to study engineering, automotive, and things like that. So, and that's also what I'll be doing. Also trying to go to schools, and trying to encourage people to take these subjects up.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, well, Tara, let's move on to you. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Good stuff. Look, glad that
issues.
No, don't worry. Well, we're all learning. This is a new world for all of us, so don't worry about it. Let's kind of go back to motorsport women. For a lot of people, it's not just the driver, is it? There's so many more job opportunities that are available with engineers and so forth for people to get into sport. Kind of talk us about motorsport women and how people can get involved in the sport.
Well, Motorsport Woman is all about opportunities, providing opportunities for girls to try out different types of motorsport or get involved with teams. We have lots of partners and like-minded sponsors who create these or offer us these opportunities for girls to get involved, to race, to learn. We put together all-girl teams. We have events for girls. And all of these are subsidized or free where we can, so we can get more girls in. We kind of put our money where our mouth is and, open this up for anyone to try and be supported. Okay,
perfect. Good stuff. Well, I was just trying to see if we had any questions coming through. I can see Leanne has obviously said hi to both of you there. Carol, I mean, I guess put it back to you. You've obviously been working in motorsport for 30 years, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've obviously, we've got actually a couple of pictures of you, so you can see where what you've been doing. So kind of talk us through what roles you've been up to.
Okay, so that's when I was actually at Knock Hill doing a start. So one of my jobs I do is I just start the races at race meetings, which either means standing up on a gallantry or down on the pit wall and starting off either rolling starts or standing starts, which can be quite scary.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. So that looks like a really warm Knock Hill, is that right?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. The interesting one where it looks like I'm always putting my fingers up is because this was the first race that they did about 3 years ago, where they did a reverse circuit. So the start-finish lights are not facing the right direction. So I'm having to look down at the temporary light, but also give a signal to the guy with the when to put the boards up and down. So we devised a 2, 3, 1 signal. So that's why it looks more unusual.
No, definitely. Okay, well, let's move on. Tomorrow I'm interviewing Abby Eaton. So she's taking part in the W Series. So how important is it to have championships like this available?
I love Abby for a start. I'm a big fan of Abby Eaton, and I've seen her recently. Actually, I'm looking forward to potentially working with her on a little project, but I'm not announcing that yet. No. I think I've got mixed feelings with it, because I like to, obviously a lot of our girls like to race alongside the guides, but W Series has been amazing for raising profile, getting the conversation started, and I think its messaging's changed and developed over the couple of years that it's been going. It's absolutely amazing that it's supporting F1. Ellie Norman is fantastic addition to F1, and the work that she's been doing over the past couple of years is phenomenal. So it's lovely to see women higher up the ladder making decisions and creating change. Change is needed. Motorsport is a business, and a lot of car buying choices, almost 80%, go through a woman. They're involved all the way through. So to not cater for women or involve them or make them feel comfortable within motorsport and the automotive industry is silly, really, isn't it? Because they're buying cars at the end of the day. So the change comes from there. And I think it's amazing to give these girls in the W Series access to these tracks, to these cars, experiences, and to support them where they wouldn't necessarily get those opportunities. So it's good. I like to see them racing the boys, because for the whole of history, we've been competitive against men. The history's not that known. So I'm going to be working with a friend to do more about the history of women in motorsport and to make that public knowledge. But, it's all going the right way, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's great.
And especially with people like Jem Hepworth as well.
Yes, my little Jem.
Yeah, no, exactly. So kind of talk about the championship win.
Oh wow! So we had a 24-hour endurance C1 endurance team with some amazing girls, and that's where I first saw Jem's talent and wanted to nurture her talent. From that, I made it a bit of a mission. My partner's very involved in motorsport. He's worked in a lot of really high-end motorsport teams. And he always says, you know, you can talk the talk, but you've got to walk the walk, you know. And it was good to take her on as a project and give her loads of opportunities and nurture her talent, get her in loads of really cool rear-wheel drive cars. You know, MSD Live was perfect for my plan with Jem, because we got to test lots of great cars with amazing teams. Ben as well, he helped. So she drove a Ginetta at MSD Live. She drove a Radical, and of course I worked with Vincent and VR Motorsport to get her some seat time in the Praga. So that was all at Motorsport Days Live, which was brilliant. She got to drive all those different cars, show her talent, get really good around Silverstone. She'd already done the 24-hour at Silverstone, so she knew that track really well. And then we were planning to go into Britcar, which had 3 rounds at Silverstone. So all she had to do was learn the aero car and get into that. Fox Transport have supported Motorsport Woman from the absolute beginning. And they also support a talent called Danny Harrison. And we hatched a plan to put them together. We worked with Vincent from Praga, from VR Motorsport and Praga, to create that pairing. And yeah, she picked it up. We gave her loads of opportunities, seat times, learning off the track as well. And her and Danny did absolutely brilliantly. I've got my little notes here. They had 6 fastest laps, 5 of the 7 wins, and 6 of the 7 pole positions. And that ended up with them winning the championship, which was fantastic. And we did that in a year. So it's all about opportunities, support, and, you know, nurturing the talent, really, giving them an opportunity. Yeah. And here's the cup.
Wow, look at that. That's a small cup.
Thanks, Vincent. Vincent sent it down to me, so I'm looking after it for Claire from Britcar. So, oh, and there's another Motorsport Woman on this cup, Sarah Moore, who's also in W Series. So there's now 2 girls' names on this cup, which is great, you know. Well,
fantastic to hear, and as you said, a great championship.
Yeah, amazing, and run by a woman as well, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. No. Well, it's good to hear. Well, look, one of the other aspects I always think is obviously affordability, because you know that is obviously another really big restriction into motorsport. It's not like a football where you can go and buy or pretty much find in the park. You know, it's something that really holds a lot of people back. So. You know, what other things do you think, you know, bringing this into light that can help in order to make it affordable? Obviously, like we've got the W Series, for example. Obviously, it helps with the sponsorship and everything else. Carol, I know that you're obviously trying to do bits like that as well. It is such a stumbling block, isn't it? Money, it really is.
Well, that is one of the main things about stumbling blocks. But what we can also now try and do is start promoting grassroots motorsport more. So not just karting, but things like auto solos, auto tests, sprints, because that's a good way in. Track days, as we heard earlier on, are a good way in. So even if you just want to do it as a hobby to start off with, that is, you know, definitely the route to go in. And then you can work out whether you want to go and do it as a full career.
Perfect, good stuff.
Well, I've got some cool things to announce to help with that as well. I've been partnering with, I try and partner with like-minded companies and brands who sort of believe in this sort of mission, Motorsport Woman mission. And I can announce actually that I have got a partnership with Club 100 karting series, which you know really well, Ben, don't you?
Yeah, very good. JV, yeah.
And, you know, the girls who do come through the karting route, you know, always say how JV from Club 100 is supportive or has supported their journey, and some of the fastest girls that have actually come through that route. So he has heavily subsidised the junior championship, which is 14 to 18-year-olds, for girls to come through Motorsport Woman and to compete in that. So we need more companies like that to get on board, to create the change and get more girls in. They need to put the money where their mouth is and help, you know, and we'll try and support along the way we can try and add value with content creation and bringing in our other partners to give something back. And, you know, that's just one thing. I've got an amazing company called Cobra who have just, they're very, very new. They're very into diversity and equality, especially diversity. And they have sponsored 6 girls to compete for a full series in the Endurance Club 100 next year through Motorsport Women, which is amazing, amazing. So we will be running a competition soon. We've got 2 girls from our fastest, our event that we had. So the 2 fastest girls from that is going to be in one team. And then we've got 4 more slots for girls to race through, basically, and get that experience and race alongside the faster girls and learn from them. So, you know, I've got the C1 as well. We're getting that back out. We're going to do a competition to get some fast girls into that, and that will be subsidised too. So, and Faster, we work with Faster. We love Faster. They're friends of ours. And we've got lots of initiatives to get girls in from grassroots all the way through. So there you go.
No, that's good. Well,
companies to get involved and push it and, you know, benefit from it.
Well, absolutely. We've actually got just a short video to quickly play. And if we quickly run that, that kind of, you know, shows that even more.
She's all over our social media and we're always watching hers, always supporting her. She can see the rest of the women in motorsport world doing what they do and obviously see if it's anything that she's interested in.
Nice to see these sorts of places with little girls looking at them and think, come on, you do it as well.
Whoever it is, we're all drivers at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what sex we are. You've got your helmet on, that's it. Everyone is equal, and I don't think there's any definite line between girls and boys, so everyone just gets stuck in.
Even today, when they see me drive round, they asked if I was a passenger. And it's like, no, I'm driving. And it's like, oh, like that, we are fully capable of driving quickly.
Great stuff. Great stuff there. Yeah, exactly. Well, we had a couple of people make some comments. We've had Hattie. She's put, Tara, it's great to see you talk passionately about women in motorsport. It's been a great joy to follow your mixed team when you went on to winning the Brit car this year. Ken Good, he says, happy to see Abby Eaton in the Extreme E Series. Her skills as the female Stig was great. And then John Cowan, he's put one of the issues around diversity in disabilities, and we're currently working with an amazing driver with autism. We actually talk about other disabilities a bit later on with Hugh from Motorsport UK. So I will follow up with that. But look, unfortunately, that brings us to an end for the session. As I said to you at the beginning, this session we could talk all day on rather than just having a short 15-20-minute session on. So, you know, I'd encourage everyone, if you want to get into motorsport, any young girls that want to take part, or basically anybody, that's what we want it to be, an open platform for everybody to get involved. But, you know, make sure you reach out to Carol or Tara. Thank you very much.
Carol and I are going to be working together as well to create more diversity. Aren't we, Carol? Aren't we, Carol?
We are definitely going to be doing more joint ventures. And what I quickly want to say is, well, I can't announce anything just yet, but I've got one of the top 4 within, let's say, the F1 team world that's approached me with an initiative to get the everything off the ground for next year. So watch this plan.
Mega stuff. Brilliant. Yeah. Well, great news. Thank you very much for being part of it. I'm sure everyone's enjoyed it at home. As I say, reach out to Tara and Carol. And we'll now go to our next advert and get ready for next session with Ben Tuck. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.